I thought I would record my screen today and show anyone that's new to the medical cannabis market how I choose my cannabis strains and products that I put in for my repeat prescriptions. So if you are wanting to do a bit of research yourself and choose what strains that you think might help your conditions, and you don't want to rely on your cannabis doctor to choose the strains for you. And this is the resource that most of us use, and it's called Medibud Wiki, and it was set up by a fellow patient who felt there was a gap in the amount of information that patients were being given as to what stock availability, what products were available, and how much each product is, and also the terpene information as well. It is an open resource at the moment, but it is about to change because Medibud Wiki has to comply with the MHRA, because there's very strict advertising standards to do with cannabis in the UK. So what they are going to be doing in the future is they're going to be wanting patients to verify that they are legal patients via their prescription, and then once that prescription has been validated, then that data will be destroyed. But for now, this is an open resource, so anybody can use it and access it. And yeah, so when I first go on to Medibud, I tend to, on the home page, just have a scroll down at the What's New section, because it will say what new products are coming onto the medical market. For example, here we've got Curaleaf Wedding Pop Triangle Flower, and that's coming from the 19th of January. And it's £6.50 a strain and £6.50 a gram. So this is really helpful information just to see if there's any new strains at all. But once I've done that, I tend to mainly go for the bud flower section. But if you are new to the medical cannabis market, or if you haven't chosen your clinic yet, and you want to find out some very basic info, you can go to this patient section here, and you've got sections on how to become a patient, how to get your first prescription, and stuff like that. Information like submitting yellow cards if you've got any issues with seeds in your or mold or anything in your flower, transferring clinics, and some other information. So this is a really good resource. You've got a lot of information here about living as a patient, so lots of stuff to do with employment, discrimination, driving, housing, and stuff like that. So that's a really good resource to read through. And then here we've got the patient access schemes. So most of these schemes are means tested or for veterans, which are the Grow Access, Memedica and Sapphire. And then you've also got the T21, which is slightly different, because you get a slight discount off your treatment if you provide any feedback or data that they can process. So that is what those ones are for. And then you've got the clinics tab here, which shows all the clinics. You've got all the pharmacies. The pharmacies are quite good to have, because most clinics will have a pharmacy that is their main pharmacy, but you are actually, as a patient, able to use any pharmacy whatsoever. So it's good to know. It's good to know that, really, because some pharmacies are better than others. And then on here we've got the industry list, which is all the brands for all the cannabis products. And then we've got bud flower, oils, cartridges and capsules. Capsules I don't take, and I never have done, but this section does include lozenges, which are a bit like gummies. They are made by Advin, and they're called pastels or lozenges, and they're in that column there. And then here we've got cartridges, so this is where you'll find all your vape carts. This column is the oils, but the bud flower is the one that I'm most likely to check, because at the moment I'm not on anything other than flower. So I'm just going to click on that, and then it takes you to the main page. You want to set your filters on the left here to make sure you're only looking at the available products, because it's a bit of a waste of time to check anything that says it's upcoming or out of stock or something, because a lot of the products don't make it onto the medical market that are shown in these tabs here. So I just ignore all of that and just focus on what's actually available to buy at the time. And then if you go here on the right, you've got different ways of searching. And I tend to search by price per gram ascending, just because my budget is the most cheapest up to sort of mid-range. So sort of 5 grams to 8 grams really is my budget for a strain. But obviously if you've got a bigger budget, you can search by descending, and the prices go from £5 a gram all the way up to £13.50 a gram. So it's quite a big price range in terms of what's available. And then also if you want to search by CBD percentage, if you're looking for a balanced strain or CBD flower, you're going to want to search there. And we don't tend to have that many balanced strains and CBD only flowers on the medical market. We tend to only have about 5 or 6 at a time. Out of all of the strains that we have, which is 60 strains, we only have like 5 balanced strains. And then the final way you can search is via THC percentage. So they're all the ways that I search. And then I'm going to be looking at whether it's an indica, a sativa or a hybrid, or if it's an indica or sativa leaning hybrid. Indica, so I tend to mainly go for those. And after you've done all of that, you're going to want to check out the terpene section, because this section is really important for most of us. We all have different conditions and we have different responses to the terpenes that are in the strains. For me, I'm usually looking for high myrcene content, because that's the terpene that helps my anxiety the most. And I'm also looking for low limonene, because I'm very sensitive to limonene. So they're the two that I look for the most. And these pie charts here, these are provided from Medibud, and this isn't 100% accurate. It's just an idea. It just gives an idea of what terpenes are available in the strain, because basically you can have the same strain, but it can be grown in different countries, different conditions. One could be irradiated, one could be non-irradiated. I mean, you're going to have very different sort of terpene percentages and terpene profiles. So this information from the pie charts is just pulled from generic info that's online. Most of it comes from Leafy, or it'll come from seed companies that have terpene profiles available. But what I do is, once I've had a little look, and obviously I'm going to avoid the ones that have got like a huge chunk of limonene, like farm gas or something, but I scroll down and I have a little look and see if anything kind of grabs my eye. But the other thing that I do after I've had a look at that is go down to this right hand column here, and I'm looking for the patient leaflet, and unfortunately not all companies have one of those. Some companies just don't provide it at all. Some companies provide it, but they only list the terpenes, they don't list the percentages. And some companies are brilliant and they list all of it. And the reason for that is because there's no legislation that states that terpenes have to be documented legally. So a lot of companies won't pay for the terpene testing. The only two things that legally have to be documented are the THC and the CBD content. So beyond that, yeah, it falls short, and it's frustrating for people who are trying to pick a specific terpene profile, because that information isn't always available. But if we go down to, say, Tilray here, and I'm clicking on this paper icon here. So this one has listed the terpenes. So it says it's got limonene, myrcene, and humulene, but it doesn't say what the percentages are. And for me, that's not very helpful. This one does say that it's got it's 40% sativa, 60% indica, so that's quite helpful. And they don't all say that. They don't all say how much of the genetics are indica or sativa. But if we go back and then we try and find a company such as Aurora, because I know Aurora has a good it's got good patient leaflets. So here we go. So we're on Della Hayes, and it's got that it's a sativa dominant, but down here it's got all the percentages of the terpenes, and that to me is a, you know, this is the gold standard, and this is what, you know, I wish all of the companies would provide. So it's really good leaflet, but as I said, some don't have any leaflets at all. So it's really good to check the patient leaflets and kind of compare it with the information on the pie chart. This information has been wrong for me, and that one was orange cake. If I can go down to the lot 420 orange cake here. So when I was looking, I was in a bit of a hurry, and I saw this pie chart, and it just said alpha and beta pinene and myrcene, and that purple one there is caryophyllene. And there was no limonene in there at all, so I just ordered it, but I didn't check their patient leaflet until after I'd got the strain. And this patient leaflet, it does list the terpenes, but it doesn't say how much is in it. So this says myrcene, pinene, and then we've got limonene and farnes. So I wasted money getting that strain because it had limonene in, which wasn't good for my condition. So yeah, that's generally how I do it. I try and cross-check the pie chart with the patient leaflet, and then once you've found something that you look like you might be interested in, so powdered donuts, then you can click on the icon of the actual packaging here. And then it will take you to a bit more detail. So you can scroll down, and then it will have sometimes a description of the strain. Sometimes it will mention the genetics as well. Not always, but again, this isn't coming straight from the brand. This is just coming from the internet. So. And that is kind of about it, really. I think that's the main ways that I use Medibud. Also on here in this column down here, it will show whether something's available. I mean, it's all going to be available because you've already set your settings to available, but it's going to tell you whether the stock is high or low. And when it expires, and sometimes when a strain is getting near its sell-by date, or another product like an oil or something, you'll have a little arrow here which has got a downward pointing arrow, and that shows that the price has been reduced, and that's normally because it's coming very close to its sell-by date. But if you've got any questions about the sell-by date and how fresh the batches, you can always ring up the pharmacy and the pharmacy will tell you what the batch expiry date is. And so, yeah, I think that's everything. I can't really think of anything else as to how I use this resource, but it's a very, very helpful resource, and without it I think we'd all be lost as patients, because not every clinic or pharmacy will let you see how much stock they've got, or what's available and what's in stock, because not all patient portals exist. With Integro, I know that there is a patient portal that's coming soon. But yeah, anyway, so I hope that helps anyone that is wondering what Medibud's all about. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the description below. But hopefully that will help you choose some good strains for your next prescription. Take care, guys. Bye. Hi, everyone.